Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's your host, Rashab and Gabe, on the 3'n'D podcast. And we got a good one here today. Rashab, your boy, your favorite player, Kyrie Irving.
Oh, here we go.
He's been getting some praise, not super recently, but from his peers or former NBA players such as Chauncey Billups, saying he's the most skilled player he's ever seen at the point guard position. And even in general, like he's just off a 60-point game, getting high praise across the league, especially on Twitter, mentioning, "Oh, don't sleep on Kyrie, don't sleep on this." And from a talent perspective, like a lot of people consider him as one of the best, most skilled point guards or position players in the NBA to ever play. I just think I really want to hear what you have to say about your favorite player.
Okay, this to quote my boy Stephen A. Smith, this praise for Kyrie and Kyrie's just perception is blasphemy. He is in for me the top five or top maybe even top three most overrated players in NBA history, and I don't think it's close. Now, people are gonna say I'm biased. This isn't bias. I'll run through the facts for why he's overrated. And his counting stats on the surface look good. For his career, he's averaging 23 points, 3.8 rebounds, 5.7 assists, shooting 47 from the field, 39 from three, 88 from the line. Got decent win shares per 48. Like even his advanced stats look, pretty good. But with Kyrie, I don't like people. Chauncey Billups said this earlier in the year where he called him the most skilled point guard of all time. That might be true. Kyrie might be one of the most skilled, if not the most skilled player of all time, considering what he can do, his quote unquote bag of tricks. But that doesn't translate to winning basketball. That doesn't being the most skilled at something. Like the guys on the and one mixtape tour, they're really skilled too. They can really dribble a basketball too. Put them in an NBA game and they'll get absolutely demolished. Like they're not going to help an NBA team win. So this notion that Kyrie's skills and what he does just makes him some sort of Hall of Fame level, top five all time level guard talent, whatever you want to call it, is just it's stupid. And here's the list of all the reasons for why Kyrie Irving is overrated. The first thing, he's not a winning player. Over his entire, we have a lot of data on Kyrie now. He's played I think over 600 career games. He's not a winning player. His overall winning percentage with LeBron, if you look at it if you look at it, his overall winning percentage in his career on the surface, I think it's like 55 or 56%, which great, that looks good, right? Now let's factor in those games with LeBron and factor in the games without LeBron. He has a 72.1% win percentage with LeBron. He has a 47.4 winning percentage without LeBron. He's a losing player without LeBron in his career. So let's think about that for a second. But pre-LeBron on those Cleveland teams, they didn't get any better after they drafted him number one overall in 2011. Then LeBron came, saved him, saved his legacy, put him in a position to win. And what does he do? He chooses to leave. The lack of self-awareness. Look, self-awareness is one of the most important traits in life, regardless of your profession, to be successful. Nobody lacks more self-awareness than Kyrie. I don't think there's any player in the league that has a greater sort of image of themselves compared to what they actually are than Kyrie. He just doesn't get it. So he chose to leave LeBron. He's a losing player. Those Cavs teams pre-LeBron were lottery teams every single year that Kyrie was there. And Kyrie was probably one of this is a credit to LeBron for being able to manage Kyrie the way he is, to win a championship with Kyrie as your second guy, and then only for Kyrie to realize, hey man, I can't be in someone's shadow. I need to go out and lead. Okay, we'll give you a chance to go out and lead. So what happens? He goes to the Celtics, and what do you know? They were a better team without Kyrie. Even being led by guys like Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who were young rookies, they were better. Their record without Kyrie was better than it was with Kyrie. They went further in the playoffs without Kyrie than they did with Kyrie. Kyrie again lacked the self-awareness to stop shooting and making dumb comments in the media when they were playing the Bucks, and he was saying, "Well, I'm gonna empty my clip anyways. They're good shots. Whatever, whatever." Like, dude, you're taking horrible shots. You're shooting like 30 sub 40% from the field, and you're saying they're good shots when your teammates are calling you out saying pass the ball. He doesn't care. He does what he wants to do, and that is the problem with Kyrie. It's his talent has never been a question. It's everything outside of his talent, everything outside of what he's physically capable of doing, that's been an issue. Now, he told Boston Faithful, I'm going to resign. 1 year later, he walks out. He says, I don't want to be here anymore. He changes his mind, which is within his rights. But nobody told you to go and say that to the media, to Boston Faithful and say, you're going to resign. Like you didn't have to do that. So just the way he handles things in the media, he's made comments about when he signed with Brooklyn. This is the first time in my career I can look to the side of me and see there's another guy who can make the shot too. Like, and then he got upset when people took that as a shot at LeBron. What else was that? That was a shot at LeBron. Like you have to have better self awareness than saying, "Oh, I didn't make it." Well, why does a comment have to be a shot at somebody else? You literally compared Kevin Durant to everybody you've ever played with and said, "This is the first time in my career I have somebody who I can pass the ball to in crunch time and they can make a shot too." When LeBron is statistically one of the most clutch players, if not the most clutch player in NBA history, and then Kyrie gets upset that people are taking that and saying it's a shot. It is a shot. That's what you did. You just don't realize it because you're stupid. You don't have any self awareness. That's a problem. Now let's move on to his Brooklyn tenure. In his 3 seasons with Brooklyn, he has played in, as of today, 93 of a possible 231 games. He's going to play in three more, assuming there's no change in the mandate in New York, he's going to be playing three more of their possible 12 games, right? So as of today, 93 of a possible 231 games. That's 40% of his games that he's played in 3 years. Availability matters. Being available and being on the court when you're eating up 35% of your team's cap, that's part of the job. That's part of being a good basketball player. That's part of being some great all-time talent. You have to be on the court. You could be the best player in the world, but if you can't help anyone because you're injured or you have off the court issues like Kyrie does, or you take a sabbatical to go clubbing and partying because you feel like it for 2 weeks in the middle of the season, because hey, you're Kyrie Irving. That matters. Like those things have to be held against you. And so one, his lack of availability with Brooklyn. Two, in his first season with Brooklyn, the team's record with him, he played 20 games. The team's record with him was 8 and 12. The team's record without him was 22 and 22. So they were a sub 500 with him. They were a 500 team without him. And the guy starting in place of Kyrie Irving was Spencer Dinwiddie. So you want to talk about Kyrie being some all-time elite talent, best, most skilled player ever, and this unbelievably great player, and you swap him out for Spencer Dinwiddie, a second round pick, and you get better results than you do with Kyrie. Like that screams overrated. Okay, in his current season with Brooklyn, this season right now, they are 8 and 11 when Kyrie plays. They have a losing record with Kyrie, and because he's dropping 60 points on the Orlando Magic, who have literally no one who's NBA level worthy on that roster, as they try to lose every single game they're playing so they can get a better draft pick. And that's supposed to be some sort of accomplishment. By the way, Sadiq Bey, who I don't know if majority of the league even knows who that guy is, scored 51 on that same Orlando team like 2 nights later, or maybe one night later. And that's the guy we're giving praise to as this some all time great elite talent. Like, please, this is just stupid. It's the blind following the blind. Okay, this is just he has a flashy game. He dribbles the ball a lot. He crosses people over. He hits tough shots. The dude's great. That's not how it works. Being great doesn't just mean you can dribble really well and shoot really well and put the ball in the basket so you're great. That's not how it works. There's a lot of other things that go into being great, working as part of a team, being able to work together, being able to function in an environment. Kyrie hasn't been able to function in any environment he's been in his career. That's proven. With Cleveland, he got upset being second fiddle. With Boston, he didn't want to be there anymore just because. With Brooklyn, he's partying. He's taking sabbaticals. He doesn't want to play because of the vaccine mandate. He's alienating teammates. He's the reason Harden left, or he's one of the reasons that Harden left. Harden didn't feel comfortable there because of the situation with Kyrie. That has to be used against him. And people are going to say, "Oh, the 2016 Finals run, he had the shot of the greatest shot in NBA history." Okay, one shot. Robert Ory, your favorite boy, Robert Ory, had a lot of big shots in his career. Nobody calls him the greatest power forward of all time. Nobody says this guy was the greatest thing that we've ever seen. Like that just doesn't happen. And so the year he won that, people want to use those last 3 games of that 2016 series as some amazing accomplishment. Can we bump the brakes a little bit, because that year in 2016 when Cleveland came back from 3-1 against the Warriors, you know who led the Cleveland Cavaliers in every single statistical category? LeBron James. You know who was the unanimous Finals MVP? LeBron James. Kyrie couldn't even get a single vote. So let's stop. This is revisionist history. He's being overrated because of that one. That one shot is carrying his entire career. So people want to ignore all the data that I just provided, and they want to say, but he hit the game-winning shot in the Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So for that reason, he's an all-time great. Just stop. Like this is it just makes me cringe because it is so stupid that one shot defines his career, and that too, he had LeBron was the reason they won that series, not Kyrie. So
All right.
that's my spiel, and I can't go ahead.
So let's just say that I believe he's overrated as well, but I'm just going to touch on a few of the things you said. That Cleveland team when LeBron joined, they also added Kevin Love. They got the veteran presence there. Before that, they were in no position to win with Kyrie, but I get it. They were on a losing team.
Kevin Love was also a loser, by the way.
He
So
was,
in
but
Minnesota.
they stacked up the team with more than just one player.
Okay, fair.
With the high praise for KD in becoming a guy who could take the clutch shot, that's just one of those things. Yeah, I agree, it's a self-awareness thing. I think it's just that Kyrie thought that he was always the go-to shot creator, and then he looked at Kevin Durant as like an equal or somebody better than him, and he just never looked at LeBron like that, comparing his own ability to make the shot versus LeBron's.
Okay, okay, okay. But
It's a
wait,
preference thing.
wait. I want to
I'm
comment.
not even at my point. I'm
I want
just
to
saying.
comment. I need to comment on that. I want to
All
clear
right,
the
go
air.
ahead.
I want to clear the air. If Kyrie had any sort of self awareness, he would have looked at the stats on LeBron when he was playing with him and on LeBron's entire career, and he would have been able to tell that hey, this dude's actually clutch. But no, Kyrie's not smart enough to do that.
Yeah,
And you
he's not Russell Westbrook looking at the stat sheet every game. He's all eye test.
that's not defendable. Like, you can't tell me, oh well, this is the first time he thought somebody else could create a shot. No, LeBron's second in points in all time. That guy can score the ball and he can do it well. His efficiency's through the roof as well, even in his 19th season. So that is on Kyrie to make a comment that's stupid and not think twice about the implications of that comment.
That's
Continue.
fine, but that's nothing about his basketball ability. And then what was the last one? Oh, shout out to Robert Ory. You're saying he didn't transform the game. He's the first power forward center to ever get 100 threes and 100 blocks in a season. Just a big shout out there to changing the position. But
Stop.
back to Kyrie. I think like even with the comments of him being overrated, and it's more so them comparing his actual skill of what he could be at his peak versus like what he's shown throughout his career. Now, a lot of this has to do with, I think, it's his ball handling ability. Everyone says he's got the best handle ever.
That's
They
fine. You know
no,
who
no,
has
no,
a
no,
better,
no,
you
no,
know
no,
who
no.
more
I get it.
handles
I
than
get
him?
it. I
And
don't.
one guys.
I don't consider handles anything. Like that's just to me like the objective of the game is to score the ball
And to
in the
win.
and to win. Yeah. So the handle that's that. Like I'm brushing that aside. I'm just saying that's what I think people consider. And then the other one is, at 6'2", he's such an elite finisher. You know, like great, the best finisher at the backboard out of any point guard. And I'm just
That's
looking
probably
through.
true.
I don't know about that. I'm just looking through at some of these point guards who had a career elite field goal percentage, and there's a couple that actually shot better from the field than Kyrie have. Steve Nash is one of them, career 49% shooter. And funny enough, John Stockton also shot almost 52% from the career. Now,
Wow.
Kyrie, I'm sure this is the thing. He's aesthetically pleasing. Like the way he finishes, the way his finger rolls
Yeah.
are. Like he's a very aesthetically pleasing player that people like to watch, and he's very, I guess, highlight oriented. But realistically, like those other point guards, like I understand those are obviously clear cut Hall of Famers. They're top five in assists, both of them. But yeah, Kyrie's not even like that much of a better finisher than what we'd consider a point guard, and those guys are both 6'2" and 6'3", so there's not that much of a height difference at all between Kyrie. Like those are just some of his peers that you'd compare him to as being an elite finisher as a point guard. And I guess like you know what I mean. He's been pretty pedestrian. He doesn't really have that many accolades to his name. Like he is what 7-time All Star, 3-time All NBA, and he's got Rookie of the Year, and he's an NBA champ. Like if I just go to another player with I guess similar accolades, doesn't necessarily have to be in the point guard position, but he's basically like a point guard version of Amari Stoudemire.
Ooh, I
He
like
had
this comp.
Yeah, he's 6-time All Star. He's 5-time All NBA. He was also Rookie of the Year, and he at least contributed to winning basketball. Phoenix went to the Western Conference Finals, I think, once, but they've been roadblocked by losing to the Spurs and the Lakers as well. Both teams that all went to the finals to win the championship. And even credit to Amari, like that one of those Phoenix teams, they beat the Lakers team when being down 3-1 in a series. So like he was part of good winning basketball teams. He was within the MVP discussions those years, but would anyone ever consider him as the most skilled, best big to ever play the game? Like he's never in any discussion. And that's sort of to me like what Kyrie is. Like, he had a great 2016. And Amare was pretty good in like the mid
He had a
2000s, but that's pretty
he had
much
a
it. Like
great 3 games in 2016, and that just happened to be in the NBA Finals.
exactly, but like once he retires, like give him like 10 years, like whoever mentions Amare Stoudemire's name, no one. Kyrie, he might still be in the media for other reasons, like after he retires and he'll try to remain relevant, but like
No, he won't.
realistically,
No, he won't. No, he won't. Kyrie hates the media. He's too stupid.
yeah, that's the thing. Either way, like he'll be forgotten unless he does
Yes,
something stupid.
yes, he will. He'll go, and he made that comment one time about being having a self-sustaining lifestyle where he can grow his own food and he can kind of live off the grid. That's gonna be Kyrie. He's like a weird person like that. So, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but he's just different. And I think it just boggles my mind that he could dupe so many people into thinking he's this like unbelievable talent and all-time great level player, and people are upset that he didn't make the 75th anniversary team and this and that. I'm like, dude, you have 10 years of data on Kyrie, and none of it suggests that he should be anywhere in that realm, but you want to use one game and one shot to make that determination. It's just stupid. And Stephen A. Smith, shout out. It's blasphemy. This is blasphemy. So
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And yeah, like even if you want to go by most skilled point guard, like I think passing plays a big part of that game. And like guys like Nash and Stockton, like they much better playmakers. Steve Nash had a decent handle. I don't think it's better than Kyrie's, but if that's the only thing Kyrie does better than him.
yeah, agreed.